Hi, my name is Audrey, and I'm going to be explaining to my patient, a recreational hiker, about his injury, plantar fasciitis. So I think the first component that's really important to understand is what is fascia. So fascia is a connective tissue that surrounds many structures in your body, and that is innervated, which explains why you can feel pain when it's injured. And also fascia provides internal structure. And as a matter of fact, your plantar fascia provides structure to create those longitudinal arches. It helps maintain those. Also, you have many muscles passing on the plantar aspect of your foot, such as abductor, adductor, hallucis muscles, which are in charge of the big toe. Then your flexor digitorum muscles, which are in charge of all the other toes, and your tibialis posterior muscle. Tibialis posterior is really important in maintaining those longitudinal arches. So if it's weak, then the fascia has to compensate and will be tensed up. So like if you think about pulling on a string. And another muscle that we saw that was weak in your case was tibialis anterior, which is on the top of your foot. So it will help and pull the bones and create those longitudinal arches. So if it's weak, well, your arch is going to collapse and your fascia is going to have to work and compensate to try to recreate those arches. Pes planus is what we call a foot when there are no longer any longitudinal arches. So it's a flat foot. And this will affect your foot mechanics. Just like we saw in your gait, so how you were walking, your subtalar joint, which is between the calcaneus and the talus, was pronating to allow the foot to flatten out to allow other structures to help the fascia absorb the shock when you're taking a step. Another thing we saw during the assessment was the Trendelenburg sign you had during your quarter squat, which is a lateral movement, lateral shift in your hip. So your hip was popping out because your glute medius is weak, which causes that lateral movement. Usually plantar fasciitis is a chronic injury, so it occurs over time. There's no precise mechanism that causes it. And this can be due to muscle imbalances, poor footwear, and muscle tightness. So muscle imbalances, you can have like a really strong quadricep but a weak hamstring. Like the ratio is not good, or a poor footwear. So in your case, as a hiker, you need good hiking boots to help provide support to your ankle, and also a good sole because of the uneven surfaces. And then muscle tightness is just because if your muscles are tight, they're going to pull on different structures throughout your body. You're explaining to me that you had pain during the first couple steps in the morning, which can be explained by the fact that your structures are not warmed up and are stiff. So after a couple of steps, the pain disappears. You're also telling me that you had pain if you were standing on your feet throughout the day, right? So this is because your fascia experiences a lot of tension because your foot has all your body weight on it. You also had pain on your heel, which is because the Achilles tendon, which attaches on your heel, intertwines with your plantar fascia. So if your plantar fascia is tense or tight, well, it's going to pull on that Achilles tendon, creating pain on your heel. And the other thing that we saw that was limited was your straight leg raise. So in an activity of daily living, so just bending over would be hard because your muscles in the posterior chain, so glutes, hamstring, and gastrocs, are all linked through a fascia. So if one muscle is tight, it's going to pull on another muscle because they're linked through fascia. So my aims of treatment for the rehabilitation program is going to be to work on the flexibility of your posterior chain, which will help relax the plantar fascia because they're all connected through fascia. Then I'm going to want to work on the strength of your tibialis posterior and anterior muscles because they are key muscles in maintaining those longitudinal arches. And if we increase their strength, well, the fascia won't have to compensate anymore. And also I'm going to want to increase the strength of your glute medius muscle to fix that Trendelenburg sign you had during your quarter squat. And also if you have a stronger glute medius, it's going to help stabilize your hip joint while you walk and you're doing your activities. And finally, a really important aspect of your rehab is going to be proprioception and balance. Because you're a hiker, you're often faced with uneven and unstable surfaces like rocks, roots, and holes. So I want to really practice those muscles to be able to react quickly and with the proper strength to be able to prevent injuries that can occur when you're hiking. Do you have any questions?